Can I hear myself? Testing, testing. Yes, I can. That is great. That means that my equipment is working. I just gotta twist this a little tighter. All right. Okay, let's crack one open together because I am most certainly going to need it. What's going on, aliens, artists, and oddballs? Welcome back to the Finn Invasion podcast. I am your host, Autumn Finn, and I am actually recording this segment at the end of the episode, and I'm gonna insert it in the beginning of the episode because I forgot to record an intro. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's crack one open right now because today's episode is a doozy. Now, obviously, the two most recent episodes were not solos. They were both interviews or, episodes with guests. I had Carling on, and then the week after that, I had the Still Crows, a local band. And I realized, oh shit, haven't recorded a solo episode in 2.5 weeks. So kind of time to do that. And today I am wearing probably the best outfit that I've worn in a solo episode for sure. I've got a beautiful, oh, my microphone fell a little bit. Holy crap, how do I keep this steady? There we go. I'm wearing a black corset that clips in the front and then you tie it in the back to make it tighter. It was from my mom. She got it for my birthday, which at this point now was last month. And then a necklace I've had for forever, some jeans I've had for forever, and some earrings I've had for 9 months. I don't know. But today my goal was to dress in a romantic outfit. I wanted to look like I was in a romance novel. Because today, I know the last episode I talked about my love life, but it wound up being more about my insecurities. And this episode, I'm certainly in a much better mood today. But I do still kind of want to talk about romance because I think I'm going to name this episode. I think I have the title of this episode, and boy, is it catchy. It's supposed to be Strange Dreams, Self-Esteem, a Hopeless Romantic Queen. Ooh, the rhymes? Get out of town, bro. Good rhymes. Oh, yes, and I also have some red lipstick on, very romantic, and it's about to be destroyed by this drink. I thought I had a straw. In fact, I didn't think I had a straw. I know I had a straw, and I don't know where the fuck it went because I am already fastened and sat down in this chair and it's blocking my way out. So I'm just going to try my best to drink it without destroying my fucking lipstick. So let's try. I essentially have to turn into a funnel. Every girl who wears lipstick, I swear to God, this episode is mostly or not this episode, or maybe this podcast in general is the solo episodes are very much a lot for women because I try to be very relatable for women, and I think every woman has dealt with this where they have to drink from a can or a bottle, but they have lipstick on, and it's not lip stain, and they don't have any kind of primer on to sort of keep it. I'm sorry, this damn microphone keeps falling over, so I have to really just adjust it. Okay, I think I've got it now. So you have to funnel it. And make sure. Look, it's probably getting messed up, but it's probably hard to notice in the video. So let's get right into it. I'm about 3 or 4 minutes in. I apologize for the rigmarole or the minutia or other words that I've been hearing lately and I've wanted to say myself. So apparently when you are on antidepressants, you have really weird and vivid dreams, and I am no exception. I have most certainly been having some weird ass fucking dreams. So I want to start with that, with something light, because again, I know my last solo episode, I was an unhappy girl about a specific guy who I am still unhappy about, but I will get to that. I apologize for yelling. Holy shit! That's why I yell away from the goddamn microphone. Pardon me. I'm not bitter. Anyways, so I had two really weird dreams when I slept. When you sleep for longer, like when you go into like a hard REM sleep, right? You're hitting the pillow for like 9 hours at a time, like an unnecessary 9 hours. Like you're like, oh, okay, I'll just have a 4-hour nap. And then you wake up at 4 a.m. the next day and you're like, do I stay awake or do I not do that? And so for me, I think I was sleeping for like 10 hours or something. It starts as a nap. The weirdest dreams, I swear to God, they always start as naps. And so, so first, my dreams have been like eerily like reality adjacent, meaning like weirdly close to like recent events that have happened in my real life. But yeah, so they've been like weirdly related to my reality and just very like right next to things that have happened in real life, which have made me sort of be confused about what was reality and what was a dream. So let me get into that. So I got some new business cards. If you haven't seen them, you've already seen them. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to grab them right now. You'll see them in person if you know me in person. And they're all, custom made and everything. And so I had a dream that my fucking business cards arrived and they were like a fever dream type like errors made on them. Like instead of having my face, it had actual aliens and it was like different variations of like images that were similar to what I wanted to create, but not quite. Like it was so bizarre. But then the weird part of my dream, it was a long ass dream. It was the kind that you remember. It feels like the dream goes on for like days or like hours at least. So another part of the dream, pardon me, was that I was living at my mom's, or at my old house, which is with my mom. It was at her house in Castleberry. And I heard this strange sound in the night, in the dead of night. And I was like, what the fuck? Pardon me? What is going on here? And so it sounds like kind of like a meowing, but I hear it from the corner of my room. So I go to the corner of my room and I hear it coming from behind my wall. So I take a fucking hammer. This is a dream. Okay, this did not goddamn happen. So I'm in the corner and I'm like hitting the wall with this fucking hammer and like opening up the floorboards almost just to get through to it. And I find, what the fuck-a-doodle-doo do I find behind this damn drywall? But kittens and a mother cat. Kittens and their mother cat. Just like starving. And I'm like, oh my God, like I have to save these fucking kittens. So I bring them into my room. I make them my new children and I give them some food, some tuna, some sandwiches, some water and like milk or whatever. It starts to get fuzzy around there. And then I remember distinctly going to work and then texting my mom or maybe my dad, but I remember texting a parent and being like, hey, can you put a bowl of milk in my room? And I hadn't told them and they were like, what the fucking why? I was like, oh, there's like 6 kittens and a mother cat in my room. And they were like, what? And I was like, found them in my wall. Please go put a bowl of milk. And then they were like, what are you talking? Kittens? I was like, oh, you hate kittens? You want them to die? Is that what you want? Then put milk in my damn room. So, and then within that dream, I had my own fucking in real time hallucination within the context of that dream. Like it was me in the dream as a person and then having a hallucination. I remember looking over, being in the living room and I was like, wow, there are more like kittens than I remember. I was like, I remember there only being like 6 kittens or something. And then I'm looking around and suddenly there's like 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look over and I point to these 2 kittens. I was like, Mom, like, where did these kittens come from? And she was like, what? And I look back over and where I was pointing, there were 2 like salt and pepper shaker. And I'm like, what? Where I saw kittens, 2 kittens, it was actually a fucking salt and pepper shaker. What? So that is how deep I was into this fucking dream, is that I was hallucinating within my dream. Kittens. So I'm going to call that the salt and pepper kitten dream. Very funny. And then very recently, before I even wrote the notes for this episode, I had a dream that I got pregnant twice within a year, had 2 kids, and was actually having like a fucking existential crisis of what I should do with these kids. And I asked my sister within the dream, I was like, should I keep them? I was like, I always wanted to have like a boy first and then a girl second. And then I got that. And I was like crying in the dream. My sister was like, I think you should put them up for adoption. Like, you're only 26. So again, reality adjacent. I was the age that I was in real life within the dream. But then the father was a contestant on Bachelor in Paradise who was also on a television program known as The Bachelorette, named Avon. I don't even fucking know his last name, but he's hot as shit. And apparently we were like all in high school together. Like somehow I was 26, but somehow I was still in school. Maybe I was like in college. I don't fucking know. But I remember like it being gossip around the school of like, oh, like Avon's actually with Kylie, who's also a contestant on Bachelor in Paradise. What a weird fucking dream. Now, I had been listening to a podcast about Bachelor in Paradise that day, so maybe that's where it came from. But anyways. So, on the topic of romance, let me take a drink first. If you are drinking with me, please take a drink right now. Probably destroyed. I can see my lipstick on the fucking can. Okay. So, your girl A. Finney, I am, in case you guys didn't know, some of you may believe me, some of you may not, but I am a hopeless romantic. Emphasis on the hopeless. I'm hopeless, man. Like, I have been facing a fuck ton of rejection lately. I think I was rejected by like 3 different people within the span of 1 week. Very embarrassing. 2 of them was a ghosting. 1 of them was a verbal, and by verbal I mean over Snapchat message. Just a simple, oh, I'm not into you anymore. And it got me thinking, do we really prefer the truth when it comes to rejection? Or do we prefer like a soft ghost? And when I say soft ghost, I mean someone who is replying to you, but then they start replying to you a little bit less. And then they'll reply every now and then, but it's not very deep conversation. They don't answer your phone calls. Yes, I'm talking to you. You know who you are. They're probably not listening to this, which is good because now I know I can be really open about this brutal fucking rejection. I felt like an idiot at first, and now I kind of don't. I'll get personal in a second, but first, I want to explore the topic. Do we really prefer being told, like, hey, I'm just not into you anymore, or like, hey, I don't want to be with you because I've seen this quality from you? Or do we prefer being ghosted and being unadded or being blocked or being unfollowed on Instagram? Because one of them confuses us, but the other one hurts our ego. So I guess, my sort of food for thought, my question for you guys is, which one really is worse? Because, like, I fucking hate being blocked. I hate it. It hurts so bad. I was like, oh, just have the respect of being, because if someone's honest with you, they have a certain amount of respect for you to be able to be like, oh, okay, I just have to tell you and be straightforward. And it shows that they're not a fucking coward. If they have the, if someone has the courage and the respect for you to just say, hey, I'm really not that into you anymore. I can't really explain why. My feelings just changed. First of all, that is a difficult thing to say. I will send that out to anyone who's rejected me in that way, in that respectful way. I don't envy you. You know, like, I don't envy having to say that because you feel mean and it sounds kind of mean. And you can only be so nice. Like, I think sometimes you have to be a little bit not cruel, maybe just like not so sensitive and not so sugarcoating it in order for someone to let you go. Because if you're too nice when you're rejecting someone will like if you, for instance, if you say like, oh, like we can stay friends, like it's nothing to do with you, it's all to do with me, that leaves the door open on hope that they might not actually have. So, like, if you are truly done with this person or you truly believe in your heart that, okay, I'm never going to be with this person or I'm never going to want to maybe sleep with this person again or, like, be around them, tell them that up front. Because if you give any amount of hope because you don't want to fully crush their heart, guess what? It's going to hurt them more in the long run because they're holding on to hope that isn't actually there while you're moving on. And you're literally like robbing them of the possibility to pursue someone else. They're holding on to you. They're holding out for you. And you're keeping them on a hook almost. Like you're keeping them on your hook because it's like good to have that person who's convenient, who you know wants you, to keep them at arm's length and to keep them nearby and treat them as an option when really the hard thing to do is to be like, this is never going to happen. I don't see my mind changing anytime in the future. You need to let go of me. And it sounds mean, but it is the far kinder alternative in the long run when rejecting someone. And I don't think I've ever really had to do that in my life, so I don't know the struggle. I've only ever had that done to me. And believe me, being on the other side sucks too, okay? It's not fun, but, you know, I guess what I wrote down here is, do we really prefer the truth when being rejected? And I think I'd be willing to bet that everyone has different answers for this. So let's get into some personal stuff without naming names. Now that this is a new segment, let's take a drink. Thank God I look good in this episode in case he sees a clip. So, I'm not going to name names. I don't have to name names. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you don't. So, I wrote down some stuff here. I try so hard not to need male validation, and realistically, I don't need it, but the reason I keep craving it is because it feels so good, and I raised myself on romantic movies and rom-coms, so society taught me that male validation is the goal. Specifically, not male validation from all men, male validation from the men that I like when I'm digging a guy, because trust me, you guys, there are some girls who have shattered my heart into a million pieces. I have 4 names that come to mind. 3 main ones, but those were from a long time ago before. Whatever. Regardless. I've always been boy obsessed from a very young age. It's not something I like admitting, but I don't think I'm the only girl who's been like kind of obsessed with guys, and like it's been a habit that's been hard to break because it's not a good one. It's not a good one to have. It's certainly common, but it's not good. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone. And I wrote down here, in the moment, like when I meet someone I really like, I will make them like promise in the moment, like promise that you're not going to ghost me, like promise that you're not going to change your mind about me, and like promise please that you're not going to like reject me, and as if that'll change anything. And I was like, bro, if anything, that's probably pushing them away even further, because Autumn, you're putting pressure on them to provide something that literally no one else can provide. Like, that is an impossible promise to make. Like, oh yes, of course I promise that my feelings are never going to change, and that these naturally occurring fucking endorphins and hormones going on within my heart and mind are not going to be a fucking human being and switch all of a sudden for no apparent fucking reason. You can't ask that of someone, and I have to stop doing that. And I'm going to stop doing that because I have to, and because it's good for me, and because I'm 26 and it's time to stop that. And so, yeah, I will ask guys to like promise not to ghost me, when really it's like, if you ask someone that within the first week or two of meeting them, like they don't owe you shit, and like they don't have to keep that fucking promise to feel good. Like, they don't feel any sort of bond or attachment to you, or at least maybe not you, but me. Certainly not me. Maybe I'm going off of my own experience here, but like, this is what I mean by hopeless romantic. Fucking hopeless. Like, just always expecting people to leave. Always. Because that's just what's happened. Like, when I really step back and look at it, it's no man has ever stayed, because I'm still single, you know? Trying to get more comfortable with it. I look great today. That's certainly making it easier to be like, okay, Autumn, like, and you know, here's the thing about physical attraction, because I can be very superficial and very vain when I'm wearing makeup and when I look good. When I look good is when I get superficial and vain, and when I'm feeling myself. And then when I'm not looking my best, of course, that's when I have my insecurities. I think that's a very normal, relatable thing. But I have people in my life, specifically like my coworkers and close friends, who are hearing these like stories in real time about like me facing this weirdly like frequent rejection from multiple different guys. And I had one of my friends, one of my girlfriends at work, like sit me down. We were on break, and she was like, Autumn, she was like, you're being crazy. Like, you're so way too fucking hot and beautiful and awesome to be like losing your mind over one single guy with like some nappy ass hair, and like who she was doing something to insult the person I had a crush on. Like, she was like, you and these rugged ass guys who like aren't even like well put together and aren't even like not hot enough for you. And I appreciate the sentiment. And she knows who she is, and she's going to hear this. I know she listens to my podcast. She's going to know who the fuck she is. Love you, girl. And like, I appreciate the sentiment, and I know what you're trying to do, but looks are not everything. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if anyone else around me finds the guy that I'm into hot. What matters is am I attracted to him? I don't need the whole world to be attracted to the guy that I'm attracted to, or the guy that I'm pursuing, or the guy that I'm dating in the future. That doesn't matter. And like, clearly, looks are not everything, because I've been single for 6 fucking years. So clearly, if you friend who I'm referring to think that I'm, oh my God, so cute and whatever, clearly that's not all that matters. Clearly. You need to have more. And, you know, I can't help but feeling like I have to have a certain amount of self-awareness to be like, am I doing something wrong? Is it my own energy that I'm putting off, or is it the people that I'm attracting, or is it a combination of both? You know, like, I feel like I've had a good crop of like guys where I was like, these are really good guys. Like, I could definitely see myself with them, but then their feelings change. So it begs the question, you know, am I the one pushing these people away? Am I the one who is becoming unattractive in this way? And so I wrote down some stuff here about the male validation thing. Yeah, wish I didn't like it, but I do. It feels good. It's always felt good. And you know what? I think it's because when I was younger, I was so obsessed with wanting a boyfriend, and I was so boy crazy, right? Like, I was like obsessed with like One Direction. Like, I loved boy bands. I had so many celebrity crushes. Like, I was watching Teen Wolf and Pretty Little Liars and like all these and having all of these crushes on different like hot, sexy, cute boys on TV and in music. And when people around me would have boyfriends and have guys that liked them, like, I was so deeply like curious and I wanted to have a boyfriend in them. So I got addicted to that feeling of like finally having a guy like me. Like my first boyfriend was when I was 15 years old, and it was a feeling like no other. Truly, it was everything that I had ever dreamed of. Like, it really did. There was some like moments in my first relationship that did feel like a romance movie. And so, you know, I'm not afraid to admit that. And so let me look at something that I wrote. I'll never be too cool for school when it comes to the choice between having a whatever attitude towards rejection type response to someone drifting away from you, or just putting yourself out there, swallowing your pride and fighting for that person and being vulnerable. I will always naturally choose the latter because I want love so bad. Meaning, and I guess that brings me into the personal thing. The most recent solo episode where I was wearing the red dress and I said, oh, the guy that I like hasn't texted me back in a few days and I'm more upset about it than I thought. So I saw him in person again and he was acting weird. I knew he was going to, and I was right. And I was like, okay, fuck you. You know, like, I'm going to let you see me flirting with another guy. Because I was where we were at this public event, I was the hottest girl there. Sorry, it was confirmed by multiple people and by my opinions. So I was there and I was wearing a leather top with a sword necklace and some plaid pants, and like my hair looked all good. Bro, I was glowing. Sorry, not sorry. I had some sparkles in my eyes, whatever. And, you know, I try to be confident. And so I was there. And he did eventually admit to me later. He was like, yeah, like, I kind of heard about you flirting with other guys and I maybe saw it and like it didn't feel good. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't owe you jack shit because you forgot about my birthday party, so you didn't show up. And you were originally supposed to take me to this event, and when I hit you up the day before, I was like, hey, you're still taking me? He was like, oh yeah, I forgot I said that. And I was like, I have no reason to assume that you even fucking like me or want to spend time with me. And him and I talked about this in person. Like, what happened was it was a week after that event, and I hit him up and I was like, I just fully put myself out there. And you know what? We're going to create so much drama. I'm so confident that he's not going to watch this that I'm going to read the message that I sent. And again, I feel like in this situation, there's no fully correct answer of what was the right thing to do. If after him like fully ghosting me for days, especially on my fucking birthday, like, if I had chosen, you know what, he's done, I'm going to block him, never talk to him again. Clearly he's shown that I'm not a priority, or that he doesn't care, that he doesn't really like me. I think that would have been a good choice too. But what I did, I think, was also a valid choice. And I think it just comes down to not what the right thing is to do, but what personality type you are and what kind of person that you are. Neither one is right or wrong, but I think it's just a personal choice. So I wrote, I'll just be completely earnest and vulnerable here, even if I sound silly. When we met, I really enjoyed your company. I saw a lot of potential and got excited to see what might happen. I still think about it, and I wish we could just pick up where we left off 4 weeks ago. Something just felt different with you. I don't want to give up on that too soon. We still barely know each other, and I truly want to keep getting to know you. I know I'm opening myself up to a major rejection here, and that'll probably hurt my ego, but I'll always regret it if I didn't at least try, because I think you could be worth it. From what I saw, you seem like a rare individual with a lot of depth. I'd love the chance to see more. So I hope it's not too late, because I don't want to miss out on the possibility of something special. And that was the truth. Like, that was just how I felt. I was just like, this could be something. And I just didn't want to give up. I didn't want to walk away so soon, because I knew I would always have a bunch of what ifs in my head, because that is how much potential I saw, and that is how excited I was. And how much I want and believe in like true love and believe in like relationships and everything. And so I was just like, it would have been completely valid if I cut this person off after the way that he had been fucking behaving. But I also think that it was valid of me to give it a shot and put myself out there and do the bold thing. I was swallowing my pride, because what would have been me like holding on to my pride was be like, you know what? Like, you missed out on such a good thing, and like, you know, this is your loss, not mine. Like, you look pathetic and I'm too good for you, and you're going to regret this for the rest of your goddamn life until the day you fucking die in your stupid ass grave. Like, I could have done that and it would have been valid. It would have been deserved. But I believe in love so much, and I believe in a connection so much. And I believe in the whole like, oh, you met this person for a reason. And like, I say it like this because maybe I was like, clearly it is proven in the past to not be all that credible and not be all that fucking worth my time and worth my energy and worth my emotion. But I can't take the risk of like, maybe there will be that one time that it is worth it, and I can't give up on that. And I can't walk away from that possibility. I just can't. It's just not like, it's just not worth it, because I want a partner for the rest of my life. And so I invite him over after work, and he lives far away from me, but he still comes over and gets here at like 11:30 at night. Like, I was literally ready to go to bed. I had no idea if he was coming. I didn't think he was. And I start falling asleep, and then I get a phone call from him. I was like, what's up? He's like, hey, I'm on my way. Like, I was like, oh, how close are you? And he's like, oh, like an hour away. And I was like, okay, I'll see you then. And he comes over, and I was like, I didn't think you were coming. He was like, I didn't really think I did either, but like something in me like told me to come. Like, I think maybe it was my heart. And so I'm like, okay, you've now said that your heart fucking told you to come over to me. So now I feel a fucking emotional like thing from you. I need a drink. Give me a sec. And what else did I write down here? So fucking annoying. Oh, another thing I forgot to say. There's a difference between begging for someone versus asking for a chance and being ready to accept whatever the answer is, even if you don't like it. If you don't go into, if you're asking someone for a second chance, or you want to give someone a second chance, if you go into it not needing acceptance, then it's not begging. It's more about just trying again. But anyways, yeah, so this motherfucker says all this shit, okay, and we hang out for the night, we kiss, whatever, and he's saying like, oh my God, like there's a reason that we met. And he was like, let's go out next time we hang out. Like, let's go out on a real date. Like, I'll bring you to insert town name here that I can't say because it might give away an identifying factor of who this person is. But he was like, yeah, like I'll drive you up to this place, and like we'll like, you know, like we'll actually do something and hang out, like da da da. I was like, oh, this is a real date. And so I'm like, hey, promise me. And again, this is the mistake that I made, and I don't think this is what pushed him away, but I do think that it was pointless. I was like, do you promise you're not going to ghost me again? He's like, I promise. And what does he do? He hasn't talked to me since. Men are trash. Men are trash, dude. Like, not all of you, but oh my God, the ones I've come across, it's out of control. Literally out of control. Bitch, you ghost me a second time. You're making a goddamn fool out of me. Bitch, I deserve better. I'm sorry. I deserve so much better. I gave you a fucking chance. You acknowledge that you did something wrong. You know that it hurt me, and you do it again. You apologized. You apologize and do the same thing again. Okay, this says shit about your character, not mine. What this says about me is that I show people grace in situations where I was like, okay, you know what? You're a human being. Like, this is understandable. Sometimes your feelings change. Like, I've been there too, whatever. But you do the exact same thing a second time, but this time you go into it having told me you weren't going to do it again, having apologized and acknowledged that you did something wrong, and knowing how bad it hurt me the first time, watching me cry in front of you and forgive you for doing this exact thing. You're an idiot, not me. And I'm so sick. Is it more of a little wussy little bitch move to lie and tell someone that they didn't hurt your feelings, or to be hurt and be honest about it? Like, does that take a certain amount of courage? That's something that I wrote down here. Also, I wrote, is it a survival tactic to pretend that you don't care? Is that how we suppress our emotions? Like, the decision I made was not to be like, oh my God, like, whatever, like, I don't even care, like, you didn't even hurt me. My choice that I made was to tell this person outright, you hurt me. I don't want that to happen again. I didn't like that. And I was crying. Tears came out of my stupid eyes. Like, I gotta stop being afraid of losing people that I just met, you know? I gotta stop romanticizing. I gotta stop overhyping people. But I fought for him by giving him a second chance, and by, letting him say his piece and forgiving him. That was me giving him a second chance, and that was me fighting for him. And it was worth it in the sense that, like, at least I know I did. At least I know I tried. Now I have truly nothing to lose. Like, I was like, you're done. Like, obviously you've shown your true colors now. I don't need this. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? This is a good thing. Actually, fuck you. It's a great thing. It's a great thing that you ghosted me again, because now I know for sure. And that's one of the things that always bugs me, is I hate not knowing. I hate ambiguity. I hate the mystery of, like, I'm someone who always, when it comes to, like, fight or flight, like, I'm always fight. Like, I'm always like, okay, put yourself out there, say what you mean, say what you feel, take the risk, do that, because that is the scarier thing to do. That is the one where you are putting your heart on the line. And so fortune favors the bold, as they say. And that's what I did. And, I don't regret it, but now, yeah, I feel like a hopeless romantic, but I don't feel stupid. What I feel is I feel not stupid for believing in someone. I feel brave for believing in someone, and I feel courageous for giving someone another chance, because that is acknowledging that your heart is strong enough to take a second betrayal, or, like, just being like, you know what, I might get hurt a second time in the exact same way by the exact same fucking person, but I'm gonna do it again because I am strong enough to handle it. And that's what I did. And I was strong enough to handle it. I'm standing here, I'm alive. I haven't cried about it in quite a while. But I wrote down here, and I think this is a good place to end this episode: give yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling. Because whatever you're feeling, no matter how much you hate it, if it is happening organically, then you need to feel it. Any emotion you hate is not meant to last forever, and it will not be persistent, but you need to feel it now, or you'll feel it even more later. And that's something that I truly believe. And, yeah, I have no regrets in this situation, and I don't feel stupid. I feel courageous, and I feel worthy of better, because I have to choose moments where I have growth, and I can choose to grow, and I'm choosing right now. This is a perfect opportunity to grow, to look at a situation where maybe I didn't make the best decisions. Maybe I let my insecurities get the best of me, and say, you know what? Not again. Never again. Gonna do better in the future. But I did what I could right now. I felt what I felt, and better things are to come in the future. And there will be other guys. There will be other guys, other girls, other people, whomever is next on the love roster of Autumn Finn. You know, I will make sure that they are treating me in the way that I deserve, you know. And this time, you know, it's just like, I have to let go, you know? Like, I want someone who doesn't want to leave me alone. Like, I want someone who wants to text me every day, and a person who I don't have to say, like, hey, like, please don't ghost me. Like, someone who's just all about me, you know? Like, because I was so into this fucking guy and, like, so all about him, and he wasn't all about me. And I want someone who is, like, I know the word obsessed has, like, a new meaning now. I want someone who's, like, really, really, really into me, because I know that I'll be really into them back. Like, that's what I want, is that mutual feeling. And it wasn't with this guy. It's going to be with some other guy in the future. Like, I'm not going to die alone. Like, there's literally no way. Like, I know I feel that way some days, but today I'm not really feeling that way. I'm feeling confident today, and I'm feeling hopeful, and I have let go of this person because I have no other choice. And even if they do reach out again, it's a no. You know, like, you had your chance. I gave you another chance. And so, yeah, my prompt for the end of this is, hold on. Here we go. I wrote like 3 songs about this guy. I think I want to end my episodes on either like a poem or some lyrics that I wrote. And I wrote some lyrics very much in the moment. Very much in the moment of like, whoo, of like just feeling so fucking pissed and embarrassed. I wrote a song. I wrote a few lyrics. I wrote a title called What You Could Have Had. And I wrote something like, good luck on the search for something better. I'd feel pretty defeated if I were you. I'm sorry for the loss that you didn't know you had yet. Too bad you can't even see how good you could have had it, and robbed me of getting the chance to see what could have happened. And I wrote, what else did I write? A lot of stuff. I wrote a song called Potential. I can see you're getting in your head again. Scared of potential, so you run off and then lie to yourself and say we're best as friends. But you're the one who said there's a reason that we met. Oh, I want some words straight from his fucking mouth. But yeah, you know, originally I thought like, oh my God, this person fucking made a fool out of me. When really, he's kind of made a fool of himself for... I was the one who was courageous. I was the one who showed grace and forgiveness. Those are very strong qualities. Those are like high character actions, in my opinion. And I was the one who fought for someone. I was the one who took a chance, took a risk, took a chance, and make a... That's a song, Breakaway by Kelly Clarkson, I think. But yeah, I was the one who made the bold move. The bold move was reaching out a second time, knowing I was probably going to get rejected, and inviting this person back in and opening my heart back up a second time. And I was disappointed, but now I truly have no regrets, because you got a first chance, you got a second chance, like, you're not getting a third one. Because I'm too good for that. I'm way too, like, I need to stop, like, being a fucking people pleaser and, like, holding out for people who have given me no signs or signals that they're even worthy of my time or worthy of my thoughts, my emotions, my anything. Like, you know, I deserve someone who's just going to choose me. And I haven't felt wanted by this person. I haven't felt chosen at all or even cared for. So it's like, I'm done trying. You know, like the first chance you got, or like the second chance you got was like, okay, maybe he just got scared. Maybe he felt some certain way, like whatever. It could have been any reason. But the second time, now that we've covered our bases and now that we've like touched on what you just fucking did and what the actions that you just pulled, now that we've gone over that and you've said you're not going to do it again and then you do the same shit again, that's it, dude. Game over. You know, like, you're out. So I urge anyone out there who feels unwanted by someone in their life or some romantic prospect, cut them out. Or give them one more chance and then cut them out. Like, if you've given someone another chance this early on, like, because it was early on for me. I barely knew the guy, but I just saw a lot of potential and I didn't want to walk away yet. And I shot my shot and I tried again and it didn't work. I know I'm kind of talking in circles here. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just like I have to remind myself that I didn't do anything wrong and that I did all that I could do. So yeah, got some good lyrics out of it. You know, learned a few lessons, whatnot. Got some value out of it that I needed to. Realized, you know, I'm so worth more than this, you know? Anyways. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Fin Invasion podcast. Did I forget an intro? If I did, I'm going to record it here. But yeah, so now I'm going to record my outro. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Fin Invasion podcast. I really need some reviews on my Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So if you could leave some like reviews and comments and 5 stars and likes and just give me some like feedback. I really need some more engagement if you could. If you really like what I'm doing and you want me to be able to continue doing it. Everyone comment how your love life is going. Let me know. All right. Love you all. This was really fun to record. My next episode is going to be with this author named Arthur the author. I really wanted to upload that as the next episode or as this one instead, but I realized that I haven't uploaded a solo episode in a while, so I had to put this one first. But I will probably, I'm so excited about it that I think I want to release like clips of that episode beforehand because it's so good. But anyways, again, yeah, that's just sort of announcements for the future and for the next episode. So, anyways, as I always say, thanks so much for listening. And remember, if you feel like you don't fit in on this earth, don't worry, you are out of this world. Thanks, guys. That was 4 burps in a row. Am I going to leave it? Am I going to leave it in? I don't know. Probably not. I would leave in 1 burp. But 3, I mean, that's where I draw the line. So,